but we have not talked a lot about the Purdue side of this. We've given the flowers to Tobin Anderson and his team, which they deserve. But I don't think we've talked enough about the Matt Painter and the Purdue piece of this. So let's just go through this. 15 appearances in the NCAA tournament for Matt Painter, 8 top 4 seeds. Of those times when he was a top 4 seed, only 1 Elite 8. You're supposed to get there mathematically when you're a top 4 seed. Only one time has it happened. He's lost to 11 seeded VCU, 12 seeded Little Rock, 13 seeded North Texas, 15 seeded St. Peterson, and of course tonight, 16 seeded Fairleigh Dickinson. So let's just go with you, Rob. What do we make of Matt Painter and the trajectory of Purdue under his watch?
It's tough. I think a lot of it is, and I referenced this last night, Tio, and you and Goodman both told me I was worrying about it too early and drawing a conclusion I shouldn't be drawing. That Purdue plays a style that isn't conducive to playing against smaller teams, right? There is no flexibility in terms of what they do. They kind of have their own thing that they do, right? And if they can't find a way to fix that, there's no versatility there, right? There's no versatility in terms of the lineup that they want to play and the style that they want to play. It's basically they got Zach Edey, they got this big, they put 4 guys around him. They're really good at being able to scheme ways to get those guys touches, and they force you to have to send extra help and try to create a 3-pointer off of that. And if that doesn't, but the problem is what if that doesn't work? What happens when teams are able to spread you out? What happens when teams are able to cut off the access to that big guy? What happens when they're able to cut off the supply chain, man? Like we saw it with Arizona. Arizona plays a certain style. If you can find a way to take advantage of that style, space out the floor, like Tosin Awoma. How about that pronunciation, T.O.? You like that, CZ?
Very, very well done. Very well done.
I think a lot of it is just like a matchup-based thing. At the same time, I do think that this tournament to me sums up why it's very difficult for me to draw overwhelming and overarching conclusions from a 1-game knockout tournament.
Yeah.
Kihei Clark was the guy that choked away that win against Furman in the first round of the tournament for Virginia, right? Kihei Clark was also the guy that made sure that Matt Painter has never been to a Final Four because he tracked down that offensive rebound against Purdue in the Elite Eight, and he made that pass to Mamadi Diakite, who turned around and made a floater that forced overtime after Ty Jerome missed a free throw in the Elite Eight in 2019, and one of the best games I've ever seen. So I think it just kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I hesitate to draw overarching conclusions beyond the fact that their style, there's just not enough versatility in an age where versatility is king.
Imagine if you're playing college baseball and you play in a league where the pitchers are only allowed to throw fastballs and changeups. And then you go to a 1-game sample size and the team you play throws knuckleballs and curveballs. That's all they throw. That's a huge adjustment. I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that Purdue just hasn't seen him. I have complete faith that Painter would be able to figure this out if they just saw it more often, right? But the Big Ten throws you no curveballs. That's kind of where I'm at with this one. Do I think Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer could have figured it out? Yeah, I do. Yeah. However, they haven't seen it all year, and they're still freshmen. So how are you supposed to prepare for that? While I'm trying to give you analysis, TCU's going bananas too. So I'm doing my best to juggle everything right now because this is an amazing day of games.
Yes, it really is. It really is.
I think just a last point on this. I think there's no excuse for Matt Painter to not recruit better guards than what he put out there tonight. I mean, I thought it was quite frankly embarrassing for a team that is the Big Ten champ, for a team that has a big man like Zach Edey, who makes a guard's job as easy as possible. I don't know if he needs to hit the transfer portal a little harder. I don't know if he needs to change up what he's doing. But when I watch,
can I give you one excuse, and you could tell me whether or not you believe it's valid?
I mean, because it's only going to be an excuse because they just lost to Fairleigh Dickinson.
The excuse is NIL. That's why that's
everybody's excuse. Everybody says, "Oh, we have no NIL now."
Yeah, I know. That. But when it comes down to your choice of, I can go to Purdue and I can make X. I go to this program and I can make 3X.
Step up,
right?
If you're a booster, are you tired of losing in the first round? Are you tired of being upset example. By double-digit seeds? So you need to step the shit up. I mean, it's that simple. If NIL is a problem, make it to where it's not a problem.
I agree.
So, and that's also Matt Painter's job. Right. And we could obviously have this conversation all hour.
Today's episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can get a little extra sweat during March Madness and win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is predict whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether that's points, rebounds, whatever. For example, if you're like me and you think Zach Edey is going to go nuts in this tournament, pick higher on his points projection, add up to 4 more picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, and Underdog will match your deposit up to $100. Now is the time to get in on the madness. So remember, underdogfantasy.com, promo code FIELD.